So what is the better choice for a MERCOSUR ID? I get a lot of interest in getting a MERCOSUR ID from a lot of people. They're interested in getting the cedula, a MERCOSUR cedula, a cedula from a MERCOSUR country, and the objective is to have the mobility, that freedom to travel across different regions within the all-important MERCOSUR. I wanted to discuss two such possibilities. The most popular possibilities, the Brazilian residency, which can get you the Brazilian cedula. How does that compare with, let's say, the other option, which is the Paraguayan option, which again can, the temporary residency can lead to that all-important Paraguayan cedula. Which cedula makes more sense? How do they compare against each other? And a lot more. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to turn on the bell notification and subscribe to this channel. It not only helps the channel grow, it also helps me get you valuable, important information, news breaks, updates, and a whole lot more in time. All right, so now let's start off with Brazil. Now, there are ways to expedite your citizenship process in Brazil. The fascinating thing about Brazil is that once you park capital in your own property, you can get your citizenship as fast as 3 years. Again, parking money in your own property, right? So this is not a golden visa donation. This is your own property. You're just diversifying your assets. Let's say you want to start a business, you want to start a branch, and if you throw that branch in Brazil, you're then talking about that immediate residency that you can obtain. The best thing about one of the options is that if you invest the right capital, over 200K in your own property, you can get the solid, all-important Brazilian passport in 3 years on the permanent residency. So as long as you have a permanent residency, you spend the 3 years, and then you can qualify, be eligible for that all-important Brazilian citizenship. One of the biggest benefits of obtaining the Brazilian residency through real estate investment is that for maintaining the residency, all you need to do is have 30 days minimum presence in the country. So as long as you are dedicating or allocating 30 days having fun in Brazil, let's say you've been taking a month off, and it doesn't have to be a full 1 month at stretch. Let's say you're doing a couple of trips, 14 days each, a couple of days here and there, and you're talking about satisfying those requirements for the all-important residency. The residency gets you that all-important cedula, the all-desired cedula from that option. The second option is Paraguay, again an almost free option where you just turn up to Paraguay. Before, for the permanent residency, you at least had to deposit 5,000 in the bank account to get that residency. It was a permanent residency, so that was the benefit. Nonetheless, the temporary residency is equally good in case of Paraguay. It still gives you the very same cedula. Now you don't even have to put the 5,000 in the bank. You turn up in Paraguay, carry a bunch of documents, quote your reason why you're looking for this residency, and as long as it's reasonable, you get the Paraguayan residency. It's a temporary residency. Again, it does not matter to most of the people watching this video. It gets you the same cedula. Both the cedulas are MERCOSUR IDs. Now, how do they, this is the most important part of this video, how do they compare against each other? I personally feel the weightage of the Brazilian cedula, it's regarded better cedula in terms of travel mobility. And this is based on experiences of people from what I hear. Again, none of this information is immigration, legal, tax, or finance advice. This is educational content. This is my own assessment, analysis, and research. But based on what I hear, the Brazilian cedula might have more weightage, more strength when you compare that with, let's say, a Paraguayan cedula. Each immigration officer is different. They view it differently. And experiences could differ drastically. But when you compare that with a Paraguayan cedula, that's equally important. When you're carrying that, you're going to get some of the same benefits that you would get from a MERCOSUR ID. So that's a good option as well. What is better between the two? Now, if you have the capacity, let's say you are into business, you have the money, you want to buy your own real estate, you want to diversify, then I'll clearly say Brazil is the better option because it obviously gets you that Brazilian ID, Brazilian cedula. It's a different country. It's more accessible. It has more connections. It has more business opportunities. It has more financial opportunities. Paraguay, on the other side, let's say you're trying to move your tax base, you want to get tax advantages, and a lot of people keep this as a back pocket option. They don't actually execute on this. They don't actually shift tax base to Paraguay. Most of the people don't do that. So you have to take that into account. Are you really going to use this one? If you are, then it has more tax advantages. It's more tax friendly. When it comes to that all-important citizenship, Brazil wins hands down, because you get the Brazilian passport at the end of those 3 years on the PR. The Brazilian passport is obviously stronger in certain aspects, and there they allow dual citizenship with almost any country. In terms of the Paraguayan dual citizenship, you can only have that with a couple of treaty countries. Now, some people have been able to keep it with other countries, and that's based on reports, unconfirmed reports. We don't advise that at all. If you're taking that route, that's not, obviously, you've got to follow the constitution, you have to follow the laws, to keep it simple and straight, so that it's easier for you in future to sustain such options. So in that sense, I think Brazil wins in a lot of areas, but when it comes to taxes, definitely Paraguay wins. It's a more cheaper, lightweight, tax optimized solution. So if you fall in that category, then Paraguay is the winner. But if you're looking for an investment and you want to obviously get the passport in future, then the Brazilian option is better. Now, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and make sure you're subbed, and catch you in the next one.